So I've noticed that we're all linked. We're all on a path that, although separate, has an effect on the overall path of the entire consciousness of the world, possibly even the universe. And the way that I've noticed this is, or what I've noticed that leads me to believe this, is the way that I feel now about everything, like things deep and things shallow, hopes and fears, wishes, like desires, philosophy, love, relationships, the system, all of these things, and even just basic things like hunger and sex and fear, even your neuroses, like, wondering what the point is, wondering if I should be doing something different, wondering where I fit, all of these things. I share these thoughts with many, many, many people. Maybe you. Not perhaps all of them, but certainly some of them. And obviously, I can't say that I share these thoughts with everyone. There's bound to be people that I don't share any thoughts with. It's kind of unlikely, but also must be likely. It's a possibility, therefore it exists. And like the thoughts of a 21st century person differ from the thoughts of a first century person, for example. Not entirely, but in many ways. I'd say, we still share again, like base thoughts, fear, love, desires, meaning, quest for meaning, all of those sort of things, but it's those small idiosyncrasies that I look around and see prevalent in many other people, and I start to see that these thoughts, like even such abstract ones, can be so similar, and they're similar because of who we are now. Like, take for example a thought like, well, okay, I played a game recently with my brother and soon-to-be sister-in-law called um, What Do You Meme? Which is, it's like the next version of Cards Against Humanity, and like I'm, almost 40, and they're mid-20s, so there's obviously a big gap in terms of what I understand about memes and what they do, because memes are something that's recent. So the younger someone is, the more likely they are to be aware of and viewing, you're interested in memes. But like some of these memes said things like, okay, they all started with that feeling when, or that moment when, or it's kind of like related to the hashtag. Um, and again, it's fashion. It's based on fashion because that hashtag thing is a fashion. That time when, hashtag that feeling and all of that. And yeah, that's not my generation because I was born in the 80s. So there's a part of me that's like sort of like face plants at that, and it's just like, oh my god, another fashion thing. But also fashions, they come and they go, and they will always come and they will always go because newer generations want to define themselves. And how do generations define themselves? Well, the only way that anything can define themselves is to be different from other things. So, you know, it's what it is. But yeah, there was ones like that feeling when, um, you know, the Deliveroo guy more than, well, you realise that the Deliveroo guy is like one of your only friends. Um, as just an example, I'm trying to think of other examples that I can remember off the top of my head. Um, and it's funny because there's not many that are coming to mind now. Like, I know all the feelings that they inspire when I read them and what I want to say about them, but I can't remember them specifically. So I'm going to try anyway. Other ones like uh, I don't know, sharting. Farting and realizing that you've just shat yourself. I think that was probably something like that. Um, when you realize you've got nothing in your cupboards but like instant noodles. Um, but kind of like what I'm trying to say is that these things are particular to how we understand our society, how we've created our society, and how we live in this society today. Um, and yet, the thing is they're so like specific and unique. And 20 years ago, 10 years ago, even, we probably wouldn't have had these little things that many people. This is a board game. This is a big kind of thing, and it's linking people with these tiny, very specific things. But many people share them, and it's because like we share causality. Those people share causality. The world in which we live in is constantly evolving, and so the causality of living in this world is constantly evolving. So what people this world creates is constantly evolving. And when I bear this in mind and I see the results of that causality, the people that it creates and the mindsets that it creates, it proves to me that we are creatures of this causality. It's almost like we don't actually have a choice as to who we are. We fill the niches created by the causality of where we are born, where we grow up, and and also like our experiences throughout that. But then our experiences are influenced by the causality of where we are and what time we are and everything like this. So it's as if like the world is creating, like we are a symptom of the world. We have no real control over who we are or how we think. We react, and we react based on our causality, which builds a scaffold of beliefs, and we cling to those beliefs, and we believe that those beliefs make us who we are and make us unique. But seeing things like that game and realizing that we are the same just proves to me that we aren't who we think we are. We're who we are made to be, which ultimately leads to the idea that we have no choice, and then if we have no choice, B, nothing is important in this life. Like, because it really doesn't matter. We're gonna do what we're gonna do. So then, the only thing that matters is that we. It would be nice if we get some enjoyment from this life and the journey that we take. But ultimately, if we don't get any enjoyment from it, it's because we are not in a position that allows us to get any enjoyment from it because of the causality that's brought us to this position and the person that it has made us. I mean, I know that there's two ways I can look at anything, and that's positively and negatively, but I only know that through my experiences, and I'm only able to look at things positively if I have enough energy to do that, and I'm only able to do that if my causality has given me enough energy and hasn't pushed too much negativity on me that I can't engage my positivity. Do you see? And that's led me to kind of like this position that I'm in now, which is basically, if I have no real choice and nothing I do matters, then what is the point of me being alive? That's like a question that it's one of the questions. Is like, what is my purpose? Why am I here? Why am I alive? And so when I think about that, and what's interesting is I know that there's going to be so many other people thinking about this question and wondering, and I see around me building up, like, every day is this apathy about, there's no meaning to existence, and the causality of that is myriad. I mean, a big factor of the causality of people questioning existence and people being really disillusioned with life because they can't find a meaning is no religion, not no religion, but the arguably decline in religion. And I'm not saying that religion is right or wrong, but what I am saying is that religion gave us the uh, the luxury or the buffer zone of something giving us a block of reasons to live, which was nice. But now we've evolved to look towards other things like science, um, to explain the universe, and we're thinking a lot more for ourselves, which enables us to question reality and to question religion, and thus religion has declined. But it means that we are in a position now where many of us just don't know what the fuck is going on with their lives, and kind of like I went through a big long depression, waking up every morning and just kind of like knowing that every day was pointless, and just feeling like, well, I'd rather have not woken up. But anyway, that's kind of not the point right now. What is the point is that now, where I've kind of accepted that at the moment, I don't feel like there is any real point to my existence other than existing. And the universe and the reality has shown me throughout my existence that it's always given me the answers to every question, but those answers aren't necessarily what I want to hear or what I want to feel, but they are the right answers. They have to be, because they lead me down, or they lead me along a path. And so some of the answers I've got recently are: there's no purpose to my existence other than to exist. So therefore, why don't I kill myself? What's the purpose of being alive? Why don't I just die? Well, death is only going to mean one of three things, I believe, and that is either nothing, if I die, that's it, I'm gone, no more experience, no more life. And how do we term life? Well, it's experience. So there's no more experience for forever. Or two, some sort of reincarnation, either conscious reincarnation through energy or consciousness, or physical reincarnation. So again, there's no point killing myself, because it doesn't get me anywhere. It just brings me back to this planet. And the third one is uh, something beyond death. Whether that be, and this is what I'm capable of imagining, whether that be a realm where my conscious or my spirit, soul, energy goes, or whether it be the opposite of life. And if I look at life, what is life? Well, it's experience, it's senses, and it's consciousness. So the opposite of life, in theory, would be um, a realm in which time isn't a factor, a realm in which physicality and therefore senses um, aren't there, and in a realm in which perhaps even consciousness isn't there. Um, and therefore, there's no rush for me to get there, is there? Because I'm going to die, so I'm going to go there anyway. And if I therefore end in that realm, and perhaps that also goes in a circle, everything in reality at the moment appears to function in a cyclical fashion, everything. So, in theory, the realm of death, if we're going to call it that, also leads to the realm of life again. So there's no reason for me to kill myself in that sense. So as well as there being no reason to exist, there's also no reason not to exist. And therefore, that leads me to the position I'm in now, where I truly don't know what the fuck I want to do with myself, because pretty much everything seems pointless. Yes, I enjoy certain things, like I love mushrooms. Like, not I'm not saying like psychedelics, although I do, but I mean literally fungi. I find fungus fascinating. Like finding it, hunting it, the different types there are, the way it grows, the colours, the shapes, the smells, how quickly it grows, what it does, everything. I find everything about the fungal world just fascinating. And that's one of my little likes, I suppose I could call it. I like jumping off things, cliff jumping, parkour, stuff like that. I like sex. I like playing computer games. I like socializing. But all of these things, I'm aware when I'm kind of like not doing them, that I also don't care if I do them. I'm not motivated to do anything because I kind of don't see the point really in anything. And if the whole point, as I've discussed, is simply experience, then it doesn't matter what I do. So I feel like kind of I'm in this position where I don't care what happens. And so I'm capable of enjoying whatever the universe gives me or wants to pass my way if I feel like taking it. But sometimes it's hard because it's quite boring a lot of the time, because I just like the world in which we've created. I don't feel like I fit. Obviously I fit because I'm here, but I don't feel like I want any of it. Like I don't want the system. I don't want things. Yes, I enjoy playing computer games, and what am I doing now? Well, I'm using technology, and I couldn't do this without the system. But I would still prefer to be like a Native American back in the 1700s, or a Maori, like not a warrior necessarily, but just a Maori tribesman, or just that's kind of like my idealized example of how I would like to live. But yeah, I can't do that because this is where I am. So it's like, okay, well, how can I bring my dreams into reality in the world that I'm existing in today? And to, like, I've got several options. I save up, buy land, and create something on that land, or I travel, and I can wander on foot, or I can get a van or whatever, um, or I can, try and one of my latest dreams is to just dig a cave, dig a warren, and but always at the back of my mind is this knowledge, this belief that whatever it is I'm gonna work on or do is pointless. So I kind of have to either motivate myself to do something or get a push from the universe, which is still interesting but also boring. And it's kind of why I'm doing this video, because one, I feel connected. I know that there are fuck tons of other people that feel in the same way, and one of the things that actually I find really helps me is to know that I'm not um I'm not tragically lost necessarily, you know? I'm not living my life badly or wrongly, and these thoughts and feelings I have are okay, they're normal, because it's a symptom of this place that I've grown up in, and many other people are going to feel the same because they've grown up in the same place. So knowing that we are sharing that, those thoughts, means that A, those thoughts are not necessarily wrong, and B, um, maybe we can somehow just fucking accept ourselves, if we know that there's so many other people that are in the same way, because then that proves that it's not abnormal. It's what it is. We have to, I guess, humanity almost has to be going through this crisis of consciousness, crisis of existential reasoning, and that's where we are. Like, look at all the books these days about, like, the quest for reason, um, the quest for consciousness. What am I? Who am I? What's going on? It's everywhere, and it's this crescendo that's going. And look at the society that we've created and where that's going as well. Something has to give. And I don't know. Like, being honest here, like, I'd like this video. I'd like things that I'd like my voice to reach people, um, and to inspire, and to like, not unite, but link people. That is something that I consider useful to be able to do. Otherwise, what the fuck am I doing? So I might as well do it, which is why I'm doing this video. I got a lot of things that I want to talk about, but obviously videos can't be too long. I think I've already done 20 minutes. Shit. So I'm gonna stop here. But if you've watched this, thanks. And I don't know, comment on how you feel. Like, does this resonate with you? And yeah, peace and love. For what it's worth. Where the fuck is stop? Ah.